Hello students, today we will be going over 1- and 2-step equations, your E worksheet, and the instructions there are to solve each equations. So on the first one we have 16 over 53 equals R over 53. So we want to focus where our variable is right here, and we say what is happening. Well, it's just divided by 53, so what we have to do is multiply each side by 53. And when I multiply this side by 53, it basically cancels out the 53 on the bottom, and I'm left with 16 equals R. And normally we want to switch that around and say R equals 16. And we're done. Okay. Next, I'm going to go on to number 2. X over 77 equals negative 31. So this is where my X is right here, and it's divided by 77. So I do the inverse operation, multiply by 77 on both sides. Okay. Now, I don't know too many people that can do 77 times 31 in their head. So I put 31, and then I do the plus minus to make it negative. And I would make sure you see that before you go multiplying. Times 77, make sure you put it in there accurately, negative 2387. So that's what X is equal to. So the 77s cancel out. X equals negative 2387. We're done. Okay, next we're going to say, okay, here's the variable right here. What do we have to do? Okay, we have to get rid of what's hanging on over here. So this is minus 14. Now a lot of you will see this plus sign and automatically subtract, but this is a negative. So we have to do the opposite. Plus 14 here, plus 14 here. Now I haven't done anything with the 5, so I have to put both of those down here. I watch this plus sign very carefully. If it was a subtract sign, I'd have to put a negative b over 5. But it's not, so I can just leave it the way it is because it's positive. Then I say negative 9 plus 14. Is that a battle or a party? It's a battle because we have opposite signs. Negative 9 plus 14 is 5. Now, many of you might say, oh, b equals 1. No, it does not. It's b divided by 5. So we do the inverse operation, multiply by 5 on both sides. That cancels. And there we go. Next, we go on to 6. 6 is a little bit of a trickster here. Now, if you have the whole, here's the variable right here, and if the variable and a number are over a denominator right here, or the bottom number, we have to get rid of this bottom number first. So we're going to multiply by 3 on both sides. So you can use a dot or parentheses, but we want to kind of avoid using an X like they do in elementary school, because that is now a variable. Okay, so that cancels out, and we're left with v minus 12 equals negative 11 times 3 is negative 33. I sometimes forget that down the equal sign. Then I put plus 12 here and plus 12 here. Okay. Negative 33 plus 12, is that a battle or a party? That's correct. It's a battle because we have opposite signs. 3 minus 2 is 1, 3 minus 1 is 2, and we carry the sign that has the most, and that would be the 33. And we're done with that. Okay. Now I'm actually going to go back and do number 5. Number 5 is a little bit of a trickster. Now, we're going to draw our arches here. Why do we draw our arches? Because it says we have to take -2, multiply with n. When nothing is in front, we can put a 1 there and say -2 times 1 would be -2n. Then I say -2 times -10, +20. That's the trickster part. You have to multiply both of these inside the parentheses. Remember the distributive property, and that equals 14. Okay, and again, line down the equal sign. Then here's our variable right here. So I have to get rid of what's added and subtracted. Now this looks like it's subtracted, but really it's -2 times n. Okay, so we have a +20. We have to get rid of that first. Remember, we're doing reverse PEMDAS. Okay, bring down -2n equals 14 minus 20, battle or party. It's a battle because they're opposite signs. Then I divide by -2 and it equals 3. And you're done. Okay. All right, number 7 over here. Oh, see, there's my variable. And if it's a variable and a number divided by 9, what do we have to do? We have to multiply by 9. Now, don't make the mistake of multiplying by -1 over there, okay? So we multiply by 9, multiply by 9. You have to focus your attention on where the variable is, okay? Once we get rid of that, we can now say b minus 10 equals -9. Then we add 10 here, add 10 here. And that's a battle, so we subtract. The 10 wins the battle. B equals 1. Okay. If I want to go back in, I go 1 minus 10 is -9 divided by 9. Is that -1? Yep, so I know I got the answer right, that B equals 1. Next, now let's compare and contrast 13 and 11. See how this has the whole thing divided by 14, and this has only the n is divided by 24. So here, we're going to have to multiply first to get rid of the 14. Okay? Here, we're going to have to do something to get rid of the 7 first and focus on the variable here. So here's the variable on top of the whole fraction. So I have to get rid of the fraction first. And I do that by multiplying by 14 on each side. That will make that go away. -6 plus x equals 1 times 14 is 14. Then over here, because here's the variable, just over here, I've got to get rid of this. It's separate from the variable. So I don't divide first, I have to subtract. It's a +7, so I subtract 7. Bring that down. Then back to this one, then I will do, it's a -6. Many of you are going to want to put -6, but if I go -6 minus 6, I get -12. Because you see this add and you automatically think that you have to subtract. But you always want to look at the sign of the number. That's a -6. So then I'm going to go +6. I don't want it to look like a division, so I'm just going +6 there, +6 here. I also look very carefully at this x. It's positive. X equals 20. And there you go. But over here, it's n divided by 24, so I multiply by 24. And there's the answer. You can do the rest of this, students. You rock.